Hello class, welcome to ICMS training. My name is Caroline Wambua and I shall be your trainer for this session. The objective of the lesson is that at the end of the lesson, you should be able to explain why Customs is implementing integrated customs management system. You should be able to explain the benefits that Kenya stands to gain by implementing ICMS. You should be able to state 5 systems integrated with ICMS. And finally, you should be able to explain 5 reengineering processes implemented in ICMS. The expected outcome is that you should be able to explain 3 words: the what, the why, and the how of ICMS. At the end of the lesson, you'll be expected to attempt the quiz in the system. The content description is that this session will take 2 hours and covers the following subtopics. The first one is, what is ICMS? Subtopic number 2, reasons for change. Subtopic number 3, reengineering processes in ICMS. And finally, we'll look at the benefits of ICMS. We start with subtopic number 1. What is ICMS? ICMS is the new system that consolidates all the existing customs systems into one robust and more efficient system built on the latest technology with the capacity of seamless interfaces with other internal and external systems as need arises. ICMS is a game changer in customs processing as it will align operations with international best practices and improve on ease of doing business, not only in Kenya, but also in the East African region. Why is customs implementing ICMS? Let's look at the reasons for the change. The first reason is that we need to enhance efficiency in cargo clearing process. Efficiency here refers to the speed, simplicity, and documentation of handling cargo at the customs controlled areas. Efficient customs operations are prerequisites for faster cargo clearance. The second reason why customs is automating the processes or changing is to automate manual processes. We have manual processes like the refunds, the bond, the licensing. All these, they pull down the gains which have been achieved in automation. Therefore, it is important to automate all manual or all semi-manual processes in order for customs to achieve efficiency in cargo clearance process. The third reason why we are changing is to re-engineer customs processes. It's important to align ourselves with the WCO and WTO requirements of best practices. We need to align our processes by looking at redesigning our processes, looking at all the processes and trying to eliminate the redundant processes. In this case, we are not only going to save time, but we are also going to save cost of doing business. The fourth reason is we need to reduce the complexity associated with several systems. The current system, SIMBA 2005, is integrated with other standalone systems. Every time a customs officer or a user intends to process or submit a document, they have to log into many systems. This, in effect, leads to complexities of user logins, performance, and security issues. Therefore, ICMS comes in as one login. All the modules will be found there, and all functionalities are going to be found in that system, and therefore we are going to reduce the challenges of having many standalone systems. Finally, but not the least, we are changing because we want to resolve the current system challenges of performance and security. Performance in terms of availability of the system, dummy entries, system downtimes, and also security where we have hacking. ICMS is built on the latest technology that is going to ensure that we have availability of the system at a rate of 99.9%. Let's look at the question of what is changing. We are looking at the ICMS re-engineered processes, where we are bringing together various customs business areas and partner government agency systems together. These are supposed to talk to each other. We are going to have harmonization of the systems, harmonization of the processes, so that we are going to have faster clearance of cargo when we automate the end-to-end processing along the supply chain. Several systems are integrated with ICMS. The reason why we have integrated with both internal and external systems is to ensure that we get authentic data from the source of that information. For example, ICMS is integrated with single window. This single window is where we have submission of pre-clearance documents. So all the partner government agencies are going to log into single window to process the permits. We have integrated with payment gateway to ensure that the taxes, KRA is having one system for collection of revenue. Therefore, we are moving away from our traditional CCRS, which has been a system for collection of taxes, to payment gateway. ICMS is integrated with iTax. The source of information for a taxpayer is in iTax. Therefore, we are solving a challenge in SIMBA whereby we have to key in the PIN of the importer taxpayer and also we give the details. Here we have challenges and it's been sorted by integrating with iTax. The moment you key in the PIN, then the data is pulled from iTax. We are integrated with CCN, Cargo Community Network. We are saying we need to get the manifest data from the airline engines. We don't want the ground handlers to supply the information. Let us get the information from the airline engines, and therefore we are going to get the correct information about the description, the weights, the packages. Next, we are integrated with single customs territory. We are looking at the seamless flow of information from the partner state systems, to ICMS. And this is going to resolve the challenges about the delays at the borders. We are integrated with transport information management system for issues about motor vehicle registration, etc. Therefore, it will facilitate issuance of logbooks, issuance of number plates, because these two systems are talking to each other. Let's get another one. Quartos. This is a KPA system. We are integrated to KPA system for release of cargo messages so that we are going to avoid that issue about manual folders at our clearance or release points. So it's very important for ICMS to be integrated with the partner government agency systems, the partner state systems, and also the KRA systems. Let's look at the modules of ICMS. ICMS has 41 modules. 39 out of the 41 are now working. The modules, what we have done is to have one system. We have said we have consolidated the existing systems into modules. For instance, we have manifest management system. So that one has been collapsed to have the manifest module where the shipping agents can submit manifest, upload the manifest in ICMS directly, where the airline agents can submit the manifest. The manifests are automatically approved by the system. We have evaluation module. Instead of KRA system, we have evaluation module whereby we are going to get the data from historical data, business intelligence data matrix. We also have the tariff. We have the tariff where we are going to get all the structured goods description. So tariff module comes in handy in the clearance of cargo. So we are saying 41 modules have been developed in ICMS. Some are portal logging, where the people who are not agents can now log into the system and they can get assistance from ICMS. Let us look at SAD, Single Administrative Document. In ICMS, we are saying a single administrative document is a declaration that is used for all customs clearance regimes. In ICMS, we are talking about 3 regimes. Goods can be classified as imports, exports, or transit. So for ICMS, we are saying that form C17C, must have a customs station. A customs station is equivalent to a customs office is equivalent to customs station in ICMS. We need a place of discharge, what you're calling the national subdivision. A single administrative document should declare details of the consignee, and the consignor should also declare the movement of goods, because this is going to affect the tax computation in terms of concession fee payment and also MSS levy. Also, we are saying we need to have goods itemized for each to provide a commodity code in terms of tariff heading, tariff code, classification. This is to ensure that we have valuation, good valuation of our cargo. And an S&D should have a description of the goods. We are saying we have 3 types of goods description in ICMS. The first is the tariff description. Next is commercial goods description. And the last is structured goods description. Next, let's look at an SAD. We have said is 17C. It has 2 parts. You have the general segment and the item segment. The general segment, we are talking about the details about the consignor, consignee, declarant, terms of payments, and movement. And also we are looking at the attachments in terms of the pro forma invoice. When we come to item segment, we are looking at the tariff code, the HS code, goods description, country of origin. After we have that, then we can have what we call a declaration. In ICMS, we are saying that all mandatory fields in red asterisk or exclamation mark must be completed. It is important you complete this, because if you don't complete the mandatory fields, then you'll not be able to register your declaration. And finally, it's important to note that there will be no sharing of login details in ICMS. This is resolving the challenge in SIMBA, where people will submit and will use a login. A company with 10 people, they will be sharing the same password, login details. In ICMS, you are saying once you are logged in, another attempt will not succeed in ICMS, because the system will log off the current user and log in the other user. So it's important to ensure that all your employees, all your teammates are trained in ICMS and they are issued with login details. Let's look at another change of a regime. We are moving from TRADEX, where we add 2 character regimes, but for ICMS, we have 3 character regimes. What happens is that we have categorized the goods or the regimes in ICMS into 3. Goods can either be exports, and exports are abbreviated SEXP. one. We have the second type of goods called imports. An import is any cargo that comes to the country regardless of the treatment that you give it. And you are saying that you have given it a regime abbreviation IM. Exports is any cargo that is taken out of a country to another country regardless of the treatment that you give it. And the last type of goods that we are dealing with in ICMS is a transit. Transit means this is cargo, or these are goods which originate from foreign through Kenya to foreign, either transit inwards or transit outwards. And we have abbreviated them as TR to enable the user what we are calling a smooth learning curve. We have retained the last character for our regimes in current system Simba. For example, we have three groups of exports. In Simba, we are calling them EX1, EX2, and EX3. So when it comes to ICMS, our export EX1 is EX1, EX2, and EX3. We have introduced another regime called IDF. In Trendex, we don't have an IDF, but in ICMS, we are saying IDF is the base document and is our first document, so we have given it IM0. We have new regimes that we have introduced in ICMS, three of them. One is IMA for post parcels or imports through the post office. We have given them the regime IMA. All the imports, either through couriers or from direct assessment, we have given it regime IMC. And lastly, we have introduced what we are calling F88 in the current system. We are calling it IMP, import passengers, where it is a regime for direct assessment for accompanied baggage. Another change in ICMS is the change in CPCs. Simba has 4 character CPCs, while in ICMS we have 7 character CPCs. For example, in Simba, we have a C400, a E100, we have R370, R380. When we come to ICMS, we are saying we have 7 character CPC. The first and the second characters refer to the regime, while the third and the fourth character refers to the previous regime. And the last 3 characters is what we are calling the special category. We are looking at the special category as the last 3 characters for our current system Simba. For example, if a C400, the last 3 characters is 400. And we have introduced a CPC for IDF code 01. We have given it a code 01. For the second and the third and fourth character about the previous regime, since this is the first document that you're submitting to customs, it is given the character 00. And the last 3 characters as per the current system is 00 because we don't have a regime IDF. So what is the CPC for IDF? The CPC, 7 character CPC is 01, 00, 0, 0, 0. How about a C400 without an IDF? So the code, the regime code for imports, duty, tax, fully paid is 40. And since you are saying it's without an IDF, then the previous regime is 00. And the last 3 characters is 400 because it's derived from a C400 in Simba, and therefore our CPC becomes 40,004,00. And you can progress on that. We'll be sharing the CPCs with you. Let us look another change in ICMS. We have a change in terms of customs declaration. SIMBA, we are calling it an entry, while in ICMS, we are calling it a customs declaration. A manifest in SIMBA is referred to as a summary declaration in ICMS. So what changes have we brought on board in ICMS? We are saying an entry in ICMS is referred to as a CD, customs declaration, and it has 16 characters. The first two characters, for example, 20, NBU, IM4, 00142578. Those are 16 characters. Therefore, 20 stands for the year. We're in the year 2020. NBO, this is the best practice you are bringing in ICMS, and it refers to Nairobi. IM4 is the regime for importation for home use, duty, tax fully paid. And the running number 00142577 is the running number generated by the system. And the last number 8 is a check key to ensure that that number is not repeated, and as we are not going to have dummy entries. Therefore, we are not going to have challenges with the restoration of weights and packages. Another change in ICMS on CD is that they are aligned to WCO data model with regard to single administrative document and CPCs. So this is a change where we are saying the CPC, we have named them according to the seven character, and SND is C17B that has fewer fields but exhaustive fields. Another change for a declaration in ICMS is that IDF process is incorporated in ICMS. All imports, we have a base document, whether or not import duty, IDF fee is paid, you need to declare an IDF. The next change is that there is automatic pass for declaration. This is our engineering. Instead of having a customs officer issuing a long room pass, it is the system that will confirm. Does this declaration require tax payment? Yes or no? If it is yes, have the taxes been paid? If yes, then it's going to issue a long room pass. Does this declaration require an exemption? Yes or no? If the answer is yes, has the exemption been approved? Yes, so it is going to give an automatic pass. Then we have amendments, alteration, corrections, and fashioning of customs declaration. This is contrary to what is happening in SIMBA, where you pay for alteration fee, but the system does not effect the changes. And the last change is that we have structured goods description against the HS code. We want everybody who declares a specific HS code to give us the structured goods description to avoid what we are calling assorted item, flimsy descriptions, so that to avoid the challenges of valuation and also tariff. How about a manifest? 16 character manifest numbers. The first 4 is the year 2020. The next 3 is the station, the airport, Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. The next A stands for air, the mode of transport. I is the type of good. We are talking about import, air import, the running number, and the dummy. And the last is the check key to ensure that the dummy entries are not created in the system. Another change is that we have engineered the receipt of manifest, whereby we are saying, and for air manifest, it is on wheels up. while for sea cargo, manifests are supposed to be submitted 48 hours before arrival of the vessel. This means that due to the re-engineering of receipt of manifest, then we can have pre-arrival clearance. The next change is that we have automatic approval of manifest. Once the manifest has been submitted in ICMS, then it is automatically approved by the system after checking whether all the mandatory fields have been completed. And the last but not the least change in manifest is that there is submission of summary declaration at every port of loading, implying that we can now have pre-arrival clearance. Let's look at the customs declaration statuses. We are looking at once you submit a declaration, what changes are going to happen to the status of that declaration. The first status is what we are calling created. Created occurs when you have registered, you have filled, completed the general segment. When you save, you have the status created, then you have the number and the status created, meaning you can edit it as much as you want because you have not submitted it to customs. When you click on register, the status goes to registered. This means that you cannot make any amendments, any changes without approval of customs. Accepted means that one, either you have paid taxes or you have executed a bond or there is an exemption. The moment you submit, it is going to be accepted. It's equivalent to the current long room pass. Under control means that taxes have been paid or the system has issued a long room pass that is accepted, and it is now the responsibility of the verification officer to plan for verification, input findings, and also the other release officers can work on that declaration when is at status under control. For tax payment declaration, taxes must have been paid. To amend means that once verification has been done and there is a discrepancy, then the head verification officer will say that document is not compliant. When he says it's not compliant, the status changes from under control to amend. He will make the necessary changes. When he registers, it goes to amended. Amended means at this level, you as the clearing agent, the declaration is on your side. It is waiting for your action. So when you see the status is amended, please confirm that you have done the correct action. And the action is, there are three. You can either reject, and then you demonstrate transaction value to the HVO, or you can accept, generate a modification fee slip, and then you pay, or you can pay and protest. I'll show you how that is done. To alter occurs when you have registered a CD and you realize there are some changes that do not affect tax computation. You go to the system, you click on alteration. We'll show you when you've been doing the demo. Click on alteration, make the necessary changes, give a reason why you are changing, and then you submit. When you submit, the status goes to alter. If the status is to alter, then it means it is in the officer's profile. When the officer looks at that declaration, accepts the change, the system will ask for a reason for alteration. When the officer gives the reason and submits, it goes to status alter pending, implying that it has come back to your profile. You need to accept it, then generate, then alteration fee slip, you make payment, and then the system is going to make the necessary changes. A point of clarification. When the status is to amend, the version moves from version 1 to version 2. If it is to alter, there is a change in versioning. Next is to cancel. Implies that you have now, maybe it's an IDF, and the importer is no longer interested in importing the cargo, or what has been declared, the number, it has been declared in the wrong station. Remember, the numbering depends on the station. So you need to request customs to approve for cancellation. So you go to the system, look for the icon to cancel, click cancellation, click on it, give a reason, submit, then it will go to cancel. This means it is in the officer's profile. The officer will work on that profile because we'll be showing you the entry. Accept the cancellation, give reasons, submit, so it goes to cancel pending. Cancel pending, it is in your profile. You need to generate an e-slip. Modification fee e-slip is equivalent to the current F147. The only difference is that the modification fee e-slip is generated by yourself, not customs officers. So when you generate the e-slip and you pay, then the system will change the status to cancelled, and if you are going to have a watermark, cancelled, it is archived, it cannot be utilized for clearance of the cargo. Next is pending release. Pending release implies that taxes have been paid, and if it's for AU, it goes to pending removal. If their partner government agency holds, until those holds are lifted, it will still remain pending release. When they are removed and customs and accepted it, it goes to pending removal, where the enforcement officer or border control officer will execute the removal instructions, and then it will be removed. Settled means that you have accounted for all the weights and packages, and there is no further striking which are expected from this declaration. And that means you have accounted for the cargo to customs. Let's look at the IDF process flow. This is the IDF process flow. Import declaration form application is done in ICMS. You register. When you register, then it goes to, we have two statuses. It can either go to IDF approved if that cargo does not require a pre-clearance permit. For example, if you are importing brand new motor vehicles, they only require clearance permits. Immediately you register, the status goes to IDF approved. If it requires a permit, when you click on register, the status goes to IDF pending approval. That means that the importer should log into a single window and go to the relevant partner government agencies, submit the request for the permit approval. Once the permit has been approved, then still in the single window, then the single window gives it a unique consignment reference number, UCR, and it comes back to ICMS with a UCR and with the status approved. Let's look at a declaration. Non-AO declaration. An AO declaration is where the agent and the importer, or agent and the exporter, are both compliant and they have AO status. If you have an AO importer and the cargo is being declared by an AO and an AO clearing agent, that one we call it an AO declaration. So what is the process flow? We will repeat. Created, you have gone to what? Submitted the general segment. You register, then you need to generate an e-slip. Make sure you generate an e-slip for a declaration that requires payment. When you generate an e-slip, this data goes to payment gateway, and it is available for the agent banks to collect the revenue. Once payment has been made at the banks, then the system will do risk assessment. Analysis will be done based on the evaluation and risk parameters that have been set in the system, also based on the historical data and business intelligence data matrix. After risk assessment, then the system will go to under control and it will go to release. Under control, verification will be done, input will be done, and if it's in order, then we are going to release the cargo and it will go to pending, removal, waiting for the gate processes, and also waiting for the partner government agency releases. Then we have the removal status. When all this is done, the cargo can be removed and it is settled. Next is AO declaration. The difference is after payment, it goes directly to pending release, and the next follows because we don't have under control. What happens if after verification, extra revenue is payable? Then after verification, you find out that the goods are compliant, then they are released. If they are not compliant, then the HVO can initiate an amendment or a rework. Amendment means that revenue is payable. It goes to amended, comes to your profile. You can either accept and pay taxes. You can either reject and demonstrate transaction value. When you demonstrate transaction value and the HVO is convinced that your values are okay, it can instruct, cascade it to the VO to do the rework so that it can be compliant and it can be issued, it can be released. The third option is pay and protest. You don't want to have delays and pay storage charges. You can execute a cash bond, or you can pay cash, or you can execute a bank guarantee. Or in this, you have to generate an e-slip. And the last process on is on correction. Correction can be done when the declaration status is either settled, removed, or pending removal. Remember, nothing stops customs from collecting extra revenue. Settled goods have been released from customs, they have been removed but not settled, or they are waiting for removal. Customs can come in, settled can be even post-clearance audit. You need to correct the declaration, a new version, and then you pay taxes. Next thing, we look at what are the benefits of ICMS. One of the benefits of ICMS is that it leads to reduction in the cost of doing business because you have expanded tax payment channels. You can pay taxes wherever you are, either through mobile payment, card payments, or internet banking, or you can walk straight there. Next, it leads to reduction in cargo clearance process. Why? Because re-engineering, we have eliminated some redundant processes and we are aligning ourselves to WCO best practice. It enhances AO program where we are talking about if it's an AO can engage in vessel to truck processing. This is pre-arrival clearance can be done because the manifest has already been submitted before cargo arrives, taxes are be paid, then when cargo arrives, the customs needs only to check, to cite the declaration. Next is simplifying and harmonizing customs procedures. We have simplified, harmonized our procedures to align them with the partner government agency systems and single customs territory systems so that we can have faster movement of cargo. Next benefit is we have paperless environment where we have integrated with systems in the supply chain, all the way from manifest submission, clearance, release, and logistics processes. And the last, we have document management system where you are able to upload your documents. Make sure that you upload either PDF or a JFN to support the declaration. And we are saying this is going to enhance paperless, conducive environment. The last but not the least is ICMS will lead to increased compliance. Why are we saying that? We are going to have the same or level playing ground for trade. If you declare a tariff, it will be subjected to the same treatment for AU, for non-AU. Each category will have the same treatment. We have increased revenue collection. This is because ICMS comes in to seal the loopholes that are there in revenue collection by integration, getting data from the source, and this is very important to KRA. And that brings us to the end of our lesson. A recap is that we have looked at what is ICMS. Remember, ICMS is not an enhancement of SIMBA. It is not a replacement of SIMBA, but it's a new system that consolidates all customs business processes into one. We have also answered the question, why the change? To have efficiency in custom clearance, automate manual processes, to engineer custom business processes, reduce complexity, solve current system challenges. We have also looked at how is happening through integration, changing modules, changing regimes, changing CPCs. We have also looked at declarations. We have also looked at the process flow, how we collect the revenue. Therefore, it means ICMS, we are looking at how we request for the cargo, how the manifests are submitted, how the clearance is done, and how the release is done. And that is all for our lesson. Next is you have a quiz. You are required after this. You click on the quiz button to attend the quiz at the end of the section, and the exam will be done at the end of the training for the module clearance. Thank you all. Do revision. Thank you very much.